CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann. A big shakeup happening at San Francisco City Hall this morning. San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott announced that he will step down from his role to become a chief in a new jurisdiction. Scott served as chief of police for 8 years. He was appointed by Mayor Ed Lee in 2017, serving under 3 administrations, including Mayor London Breed and briefly under current Mayor Daniel Lurie. Well, today, during a morning announcement, Chief Scott gave thanks to the community.
Thanks to the tireless work of the members of the SFPD, sworn and non-sworn, combined with the department's collaboration with community partners and many other entities, we accomplished what we set out to do and made the department better and helped this great city to become safer in the process.
Also during today's announcement, Mayor Daniel Lurie thanked the chief for his service and dedication to the city.
I want to express my profound gratitude to the chief for his service to our city.
The announcement comes as Assistant Police Chief David Lazar is set to retire at the end of the month. Mayor Lurie announcing this morning that Paul Yep, who is currently his public safety czar, will take over as interim chief. Scott will remain with the force for the next 6 weeks to help with the transition. Well, developing right now, the Golden State Warriors just announced that Steph Curry is expected to miss at least a week as he heals from a grade 1 hamstring injury. That injury happened last night during Game 1 of the playoff series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Fortunately, the Warriors pulled out a victory without their star last night. Curry will be reevaluated in a week, will likely miss tomorrow's game 2, and potentially games 3 and 4 when the series returns home to Chase Center. Well, the Valkyries' inaugural preseason kicked off with a thriller at Chase Center. Last night, fans celebrated history on the hardwood as the team took on the Los Angeles Sparks. Monique Billings scored the team's first official bucket. The team fell behind early, but in the second half, the Valkyries made a major comeback. However, their run fell short, losing 83-82. Valkyries take their preseason show on the road Sunday to Phoenix. You can watch the game over on our sister station, PIX Plus, at 2:30 p.m. And remember, CBS News Bay Area is the home of the Valkyries. More than 30 games will air right here on PIX Plus. We will also have a weekly show with behind-the-scenes access. Well, a bit of a cool down today, but it should be only short term. Switching the weather right now, Jess joins us now with a look at our weather. Hey, Jess.
Hey, how's it going? We're going to be dealing with some partly cloudy skies throughout the next couple hours throughout the Bay Area. And temperatures, yeah, they're a little bit cooler compared to where we were at yesterday. I mean, yesterday we were talking about 80s off in some of our inland spots. Today we're in the 70s. We have 50s along the coast, so about a 20-degree spread right there from our microclimates. And you head over into San Francisco. Yesterday, we were sitting in the upper 60s, the day before 70s, and now we're seeing 60s anywhere from wine country all the way across the Golden Gate Bridge into SF, with some 70s just along 101 the more south you go, all the way into San Jose and throughout all the Santa Clara Valley. Heading into the afternoon hours today, a couple things to note. Winds are going to start getting breezier, especially in areas like San Francisco, stretched all the way up into Fairfield. That's the case as we head into the dinner time hours tonight. At the same time, we're also seeing partly cloudy skies along the coast. A lot more clear conditions off into our inland spots, but those clouds start wrapping over the bay, and then the fog starts to fill the bay as we head into our Thursday forecast right around the corner. Still dry, though. It's not until we head into this weekend and early next week where we see a chance of showers returning. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, let's give you a live look right now at the Vatican, where it's 9 o'clock at night. We're watching the chimney at the Sistine Chapel. You can see right now that black smoke is coming out of that chimney, which means the conclave of the 133 cardinals have already taken at least their first vote, and they are saying they have not elected a new pope just yet. That is why you're seeing that black smoke coming out of the Sistine Chapel. We're waiting to see white smoke when that does come out, which will signal that they have elected a new pope. In the meantime, those 133 cardinals are now locked in the Sistine Chapel as the conclave officially began today, 3 weeks after the death of Pope Francis. Tina Kraus has this story from the Vatican.
The cardinals entered the Sistine Chapel and took an oath of secrecy as they began the process of choosing Pope Francis's successor. In the final mass before the conclave began, the dean of the College of Cardinals reminded them to set aside personal opinions and elect a pope who can see unity in diversity.
With Pope Francis being a more progressive pope, I think everyone's really on the cusp and anxious to see who they're going to pick next.
The so-called princes of the church have surrendered their phones and cut off communications with the outside world. They will keep casting ballots until they reach a 2/3 consensus. The 133 cardinals come from 70 countries, 10 of them from the U.S., and the vast majority chosen by Pope Francis himself.
They don't know each other very well. Pope Francis called them together very infrequently, only really once in 2014 for open discussion.
A new CBS News poll of U.S. Catholics shows more than a third hope the new pontiff will be more conservative than Pope Francis, while 21% want someone more progressive.
I would love as a Catholic to see more female in intervention in all parts of the service.
The church does not need to fit the age. That's why it's 2,000 years old.
Crowds are watching for smoke signals from the temporary chimney on the roof of the Sistine Chapel. Black means no decision. White smoke means a new pope and a new path for the world's 1.4 billion Catholics.
So once again, we have breaking news giving you a live look at the Vatican. Black smoke pouring out of the Sistine Chapel. That indicates no pope was elected on the conclave's first ballot. That conclave began today. 133 cardinals now locked in that conclave. Right now, it's 9 o'clock at night at the Vatican, and we're watching the chimney at the Sistine Chapel as once again we await news of the Pope. So stay with us for continuing coverage from Rome as we await for the white smoke. Right now, we're seeing the black smoke and the selection of a new Pope. We will bring you any updates on air and on our website at KPIX.com and on the CBS News app. Well, a government rule change starting today makes it a requirement to have real ID to board all domestic flights. It's a new, more secure form of identification to get through security. Veronica Macias went to SFO to see how the transition is going and what happens if you don't have it today.
For months, there had been signs on the screens letting people know they would be denied access if they didn't have their real ID by today, May 7th. We're finding that people this morning are being reassured they can get on that domestic flight without the real ID. However, they're going to go through extra steps to get verified. Here at TSA, we're finding that things are running pretty smoothly. People have known about this for quite some time. The real ID recommended by the 9/11 Commission, then signed into law 20 years ago, back in 2005. There were multiple delays. Those who don't have their real ID starting today can get on that plane with some extra steps, according to Homeland Security. However, 81% of travelers have already complied in getting theirs. 20% do not have it, and they will need their passport or other forms of identification to get verified. This morning, we ran into one adorable passenger getting through without his real ID.
We have all the things. We're ready to go. Hopefully no tears. I'm hoping for the best. I mean, I've had a real ID for a long time because I feel like everybody in California has had the real ID for a long time, but I'm hoping with Clear and TSA PreCheck, it's not an issue.
Are you prepared with the real ID today?
Yes, I am.
How long have you had it?
I've had it almost a year.
What do you think about people who waited until the last minute may cause extra lines here today?
Scrambling, because some of them don't have birth certificates. That was my experience with a family member.
I expect there's going to be a slight line, but I'm prepared, so I'm not super worried about it.
Today, we also talked to passengers who seem a little concerned about the travel situation and chaos that's happening on the East Coast, with some 100 flights canceled at Newark, according to FlightAware. People concerned that could have a ripple effect across the country.
Well, if you still need to get your real ID, you're definitely not alone. Appointments are full at many DMV offices across the Bay through the next few weeks. The Oakland office does have extended hours and Saturday appointments for this month. Check out the DMV website for specific times. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News, Bay Area OUSD students might already have an in at one Cal State school, all thanks to this new partnership. And Motown legend Smokey Robinson has been hit with a lawsuit. What 4 of his former employees are accusing him of. We return. Well, some students in the Oakland Unified School District may have a similar path into college, all thanks to a new partnership with Cal State East Bay. The initiative will mean guaranteed acceptance and coordinated support services for about 1,300 qualified students.
It's a place where I found a program that helps me. There's going to be always financial help. There's always going to be somebody there for you. You're not going to be alone.
Cal State East Bay mascot Perry, the peregrine falcon, was also on hand for today's announcement at Castlemont High School. Oakland Unified is the largest district to partner with Cal State East Bay. The initiative also includes qualified students in Hayward, San Leandro, San Lorenzo, New Haven, and Castro Valley school districts. Well, the East Bay Regional Park District is making changes to boat inspections and banning policies to prevent the spread of an invasive shellfish, the golden mussel. Starting today, boats will have a color-coded band that will allow them to return to the same body of water with a particular color of band. That means moving a boat from lake to lake will require a re-inspection process. The goal is to prevent the spread of the invasive mussel. Okay, back to our first alert weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside at Mount Diablo, or from our Mount Diablo camera, should I say. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Burtz. So, Jess, a little bit cooler today.
A little bit cooler. Hey, if you plan on signing up for that half marathon, I'll do it with you. We can start training in this weather, Ryan. Here's what's happening for us as we head outside. We're gearing up for one of the coolest days this week throughout the Bay Area. It's not saying much in our inland spots. We're still getting all the way up into the 70s in areas like Concord and Antioch, but it was just 2 days ago we were talking about 80s over there. And we'll return to the 80s as we creep closer to the weekend, but for now, it's still cool and cloudy along our coastline. Those microclimates dropping down into the upper 50s today. So about a 20-degree spread anywhere from the East Bay stretched all the way over into the coast, into the Santa Clara Valley we go. We're sitting in the mid-70s as we head into this afternoon. Now, we kicked off this week with some gusty conditions. We definitely all noticed it throughout the Bay Area Saturday, Sunday, with wind advisories widespread throughout the Bay. Now, heading into this afternoon, those onshore winds are going to start kicking up. We could see wind gusts anywhere up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour in areas like San Francisco and Fairfield, dying down into the overnight hours tonight. Now, as we head into the overnight hours tonight, the Bay is going to fill once again with that fog. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning with dense fog widespread throughout our coastline, along that shoreline, and of course just in the mouth of the bay, but it will bleed off into the afternoon hours tomorrow. It's a dry day tomorrow, and it's a dry day as we head into our Friday forecast too, but you head into this weekend and early next week, suddenly we're talking about a cold front sweep in, and that's going to bring in our next chance of showers heading into Sunday night, early Monday morning. So let's actually take a quick look at what that's going to do for us, starting off with our inland areas. Today, like I said, it's one of the coolest days this week. We warm right back up into the 80s with sunny skies heading into our forecast tomorrow, Friday, all the way into our Saturday setup too. As that cold front starts to arrive, we're going to drop down to the 70s. Suddenly, we're in the 60s as we head into early next work week. And you're going to want to hold on tight to that umbrella as we head into next Monday's forecast. Showers are expected anywhere from the East Bay, stretched all the way into the Santa Clara Valley, up into wine country, and of course for our friends along the Bay too. We're going to notice that warm up and cool down too along the Bay, just a little bit more mild though. 60s, flirting with 70s, kind of back and forth as we head into the next 7 days. We'll notice a lot more of those clouds holding on tight to areas like San Francisco, Oakland, stretched all the way along our coastline too. And then we're all going to get that quick little shower before we start to dry up heading into next Tuesday's forecast. Back over to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, legendary singer and songwriter Smokey Robinson facing a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault. 4 female former employees filed a lawsuit yesterday in Los Angeles. Robinson is being accused of sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, and gender violence. The women are seeking $50 million so far. Robinson has not responded. Well, coming up after the break, she's making history as the first Asian American head coach in the WNBA. Natalie Nakase and why representation isn't a game when we return. Well, the Golden State Valkyries hit the court at Chase Center last night. They were led by the first Asian American coach in WNBA history. Our Amanda Harry spoke with Natalie Nakase about what it was like to represent her heritage on the national stage.
Natalie Nakase is picking up the ball and taking charge of the Golden State Valkyries, and she's making history while doing it. Nakase is the first Asian American head coach in the WNBA.
I'm very proud of being an Asian American.
It's a major step forward for Asian representation in professional sports. Historically, Asian Americans have been stereotyped as more academic than athletic, but Nakase is proving you can be both.
I stand for the misunderstood. I think the fact that there isn't a ton of visibility as being an Asian American and head coach in professional sports, but so to me, like, it's just got to be your passion.
In the WNBA's male counterpart, the NBA, there's only been one Asian head coach. According to the Institute of Diversity and Ethics in Sport, less than 2% of WNBA players are Asian. It's a stark contrast to the Bay Area. 2020 census data shows more than a quarter of the population is Asian.
I think I'm connecting with the community. I just spoke to someone who understood that my dad, when we talk about being proud, I said he does the head nod, and she resonated with that. She's like, my dad did that too.
At the Center of Sports and Social Justice at Cal State East Bay, co-director Matthew Atencio says they study how to promote inclusion and social justice in sports.
So the WNBA has been the standard in terms of hiring of racial members of society and also gender-wise.
He says representation like this is vital for a diverse community like the Bay Area.
The old phrase of if they can see it, they can be it is really, really important. It gives young girls and even coaches in the Bay Area something to look up to, and I think that awareness of the Valkyries being in town for the women's game is going to be tremendous.
And so far, the community is supporting Nakase. Fans filled Thrive City to watch her and the rest of the management team select players in the team's first WNBA draft, including an Asian player, Caitlin Chen.
The fans are ready, and the fans understand basketball, so that means a lot.
For Nakase, being a woman and Asian has shaped her, but so has basketball and her drive to be a great coach. That's why she believes she's getting this opportunity to lead the Valkyries.
Just work really hard for it. Swing big, risk big, and fail hard.
Passing through the glass ceiling and never looking back.
Nice. One more.
Well, you can find all of our stories for AAPI Heritage Month on KPIX.com, and be sure to watch our special Legacy and Leadership. You can see it Thursday, May 22nd at 7:30 p.m. and May 24th at 7 p.m. That's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.